happy to be here. My name is Akos. I am from Hungary. And you know, there are a lot of bad stereotypes about Hungarians, right? For example, that Hungarians are homophobic. Unfortunately, that's true. But we do have an LGBT community. The only difference is we don't have a plus at the end. We have a minus at the front. Cool. Nice. Wow. I love you guys already. All right. I come from a small town. I was born in a small village close to the Hungarian-Romanian border. So technically, I was born in Transylvania. Interesting fact, in Hungary, they call it Ilvania because they do not acknowledge trans. And cool. Nice. Awesome. Holy shit. Great. I was performing at the Hungarian Pride a couple weeks ago, and all 5 of us who showed up loved it. And it was great. I was performing there because I am asexual. I want to introduce this concept a little bit, right? Like, being asexual basically means that I don't easily develop attraction towards others, and I don't feel so comfortable about intimacy, right? And people ask me a lot of questions about it. For example, how did you become asexual? Very simple answer. 7 years ago, we had a party with my friends, and when we toasted, I did not maintain eye contact. That's how... that's how it happens. Believe what people say, it's true. Right. Another question I get quite frequently is, how do you know that you're asexual? Have you even had sex? Yes, of course, I'm asexual, not a loser. Yeah. Specifically, I slept with 3 women before I discovered my orientation, right? Not at the same time, though. I didn't discover that I'm asexual at an orgy, although it would have been very funny. Can you imagine me just going like, no. No. Oh, you got the thing? Okay. No! This is not how it happened. It's a very painful and personal process, actually. And I always have to explain it, right? Because that's not something that people assume when they look at me, right? Like, some of you might still be thinking, come on, Akos, I'm sure you have sex frequently. You're wearing your baseball cap backwards. I'm not as cool as I look, you guys. No, not as cool. Not as cool. No. I had a very interesting interaction with a lady, right, that came up to me after I performed at the Hungarian Pride. And she said that she thinks that I don't really know what it's like to be different as an asexual person, right? Sort of telling me that I don't really belong to the community, right? And it upset me at the time. But I realized that she's kind of right? So I started to refer to asexuality as my sexual orientation, not as my sexual identity, because it's part of who I am, but it's not who I am, and I will never understand what it's like to love a man as a man, or to love a woman as a woman, or to feel like the body that you were born in is not truly yours. But I have been vegetarian for 5 years. In Eastern Europe, I am considered to be gay. Okay, can we just... Yeah. My grandmother used to say, you can love whoever you love in any way you want to love them, but you will eat my goulash. You know what I mean? That was the main conclusion of the story. And I really like to be here. I really like to be here and like, learn about myself and just like, I think that the Netherlands is still very progressive in the countries where I lived in before, right? In comparison, I could never do this before. And sometimes this country is like, progressive to an extent that I can't keep up with, right? Like, there's always something like hip and new that I haven't heard of, especially when it comes to like food and drinks, right? Like, I live at the Pipe now, which is one of the most hipster areas even in Amsterdam, right? And I went to this cafe recently, and the waitress came up to me and she said, what would you like to drink? I can make you a coffee, an Assam Ahmad. And I didn't know what it was. Apparently the Assam is a popular breakfast drink, but I never heard of it. So I was like, what? And she goes, you don't know what Assam Ahmad is? I'm like, I think he was involved in 9/11. Cool. You guys are awesome. All right. And then I waited for my Assam, right, for like 50 minutes. So I walked up to the waitress, and she was like, oh, no, I forgot. I'm like, hey, never forget. Awesome. You guys are really cool. All right. I came here to study political science so I can make these jokes. All right. Yeah. I'm currently in a class on corruption, right? We have a class on corruption. There are 26 people in my class, and 18 of us are Eastern Europeans. Yeah. It feels like I'm doing my master's in a FlixBus. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Every 2 hours, we go out for a cigarette and an energy drink. It's fantastic. And then we come back to class and we look at each other like, are you here to learn about how to prevent corruption? Or are you here to master the skills you already know? You know, that's the difference, man. I love FlixBus. It's a company that is enjoyed only by students who care about their environmental footprint, Eastern European construction workers, and drug smugglers. So that's great. And luckily, I belong to all three of these groups. So it's like a company was made for me. It's fantastic. I really like to be here. And, you know, despite of being asexual, I really want to, find a partner, be in a relationship. I do believe in love, right? And the thing is that I've never been good at dating. And I think that's because my parents met in a forest. And yeah, when I say this, usually people imagine my mom just in a red hood hopping, picking up blueberries. And they imagine my dad coming out from a swamp like, somebody once told me, but no. Couple Shrek fans in the house. Awesome, nice. I love it. But no. Actually, the way how my parents met, it's a classic Eastern European love story, right? Classic Eastern European love story. One day, my mom was driving in her car when she passed the forest, right? She stopped. She got out of the car. She opened her trunk. She was about to throw a bunch of broken electric devices into a river when. When she looked up and she saw a shadowy figure in the woods. That was my dad. Cutting out trees illegally. And no. The reason why they met in a forest is because they were professional mountain climbers, right? So normal people use the Alps, and my parents used the Alps. But yeah, they never really socialized, so it's like a big problem for me. And I tried everything I could, right? Like at an early age, I even learned Spanish, right? I learned Spanish. Yeah. I was inspired by the most influential Latin American woman, Dora the Explorer. And all right, good, nice. I recently got a tattoo of the New York Mets, actually. I have it, and I don't know if you could tell by my accent or everything I said, but I'm not a comedian from New York. And and a friend of mine told me, aren't you scared that, the team will get into a racist, sexist scandal and you will regret this? But what my friend didn't know is that right above that, I have a tattoo of the Hungarian and the Polish flag. Hurrah! Yeah. This represents everything that did not age well. And it's great. It's awesome. I really like it. I really tried everything, right? And one of the things that my therapist suggested to me is that maybe I should, pick a new job, right? And if I succeed in a new environment that will help me with dating, and I will build up confidence that I need for it. And this is how I became an English teacher. So I've been teaching English to kids online. And a couple of days ago after a show, a few people came up to me and they said do you want to go to a bar? And I was like, yeah, sure. We got to know each other. It was getting late, so I told them, sorry guys, I have to go home. I have English classes tomorrow. And one of them said, oh, it's very nice that you are trying to improve your English. That was which did not help in my confidence. I can tell you that much. But teaching, made me realize that asexuality in my life doesn't only create burdens, right? Sometimes it can also be a solution in problematic situations, right? Like recently, one of the girls who I teach messaged me and she was like, Akos, can we please have an emergency class? Because tomorrow I will have an oral exam from clothing and I forgot the vocabulary, I can't remember the words. Can we please go through the material once again? And I said, yes, of course. But I had only half an hour because I had to go to my next class. So I told her, Norina, it's very important that you remember that your teachers will ask you some very specific questions, right? And just to make sure you can prepare well, let me send you a few questions about clothing your teachers might ask from you. I sent her the following questions. What are you wearing right now? What does your mom like to wear? Does she prefer skirts or leggings? Does your father own any expensive accessories, such as a gold ring, a silver watch? At this point, it doesn't only look like I want to fuck this little girl and her mom, but also rob their whole family. So my final question was, what does your little brother like to wear? Yeah. Next morning, I got 25 calls from her mom. She was like, Akos, this is outrageous. This is horrendous. What is this bullshit? Explain yourself. I was like, no, ma'am, you don't understand. I do not get turned on by anyone. Yeah. But I think like the biggest problem of mine was that, Hungarian culture is very depressing, right? And I can never really loosen up, right? It's kind of like part of our culture. Even our pop culture, like our songs are very depressing. Even our national anthem, the Hungarian national anthem, is pretty depressing, and how can I say this? I'm a big hip-hop fan. Do you have any hip-hop fans in the house? Woo! Yeah, nice, some of you, awesome, cool. The Hungarian anthem reminds me of hip-hop music. When like rappers tell us how much they struggled, through their lives, going through shit, and how bad life has been. So I made a little game for you. I would like to play with you. It's called, are these lyrics by the Hungarian national anthem or Kendrick Lamar? All right, awesome, cool. Just with a show of hands, tell me which one you think it is. Okay. So the first one is, may God protect me with his arms when I fight with my enemies. Who thinks it's the national anthem? Who thinks it's Kendrick Lamar? It is the national anthem, congratulations. All right. The next one is, being unlucky for a while, the next year should be blessed. Who thinks it's Lamar? Who thinks it's the national anthem? It is the national anthem. All right. Holy shit. You guys are right. All right. Okay. Now, this next one is going to be a bit more difficult, so take your time. It's just the N-word 3 times. Who thinks? Who thinks it's Lamar? Who thinks it's the anthem? It's both. All right. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. Holy shit. All right. But, actually, I lied to you a little bit because 2 months ago I entered a relationship, and thank you. I appreciate the 2 woos. Nice, awesome, cool, nice. It's been really nice. And she's very different from me. I'm a very realistic, sort of like dark, pessimistic person. She's like super festive, right? As soon as it got colder, she told me, Akos, you know what it means, right? The weather is getting colder. It's spooky season. I'm like, honey, we are both unemployed. Spooky season has already begun. And, yeah, like this is one of the things that I've been doing recently, in the last few years. But next to it, I had another job, which was a professional juggling. And yeah, I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit. Yeah, so when I started juggling first, I started off with fire juggling. And during the first minute, I looked very cool. And during the next 8 days, I looked very injured. So I decided to switch to this. This is called the flower stick, and it's not as cool as fire, but I thought this would be a good occasion to introduce you to the craft. So here we go. If you pay close attention to my left wrist, you might notice the exact moment when women lose interest in me. Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah. This next trick is called the helicopter. An interesting fact about the helicopter. I can also do it with my penis. Before I do my next trick, I have just enough time to tell you about BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online platform. Nice. All right. This next one is called the propeller. An interesting fact about the propeller. I can also do it with my, okay. One was enough. All right, cool. Nice. Do you guys like Cirque du Soleil? They absolutely hate Cirque du Soleil. They are the Kardashian family of the juggling community. Bunch of attention-seeking bitches. All right. Okay. Yeah, so next to juggling, if you were wondering, I told you I also teach English online, and I'm also a dog sitter. That's right, I'm like a Swiss knife of low income. guys. Now watch this. Hello, so sorry, what was your name? Gabriele, nice to meet you, Gabriele. Gabriele, did you have anything in your left pocket when you entered this room? don't check it just yet. Don't check it just yet. Did you have anything in there? Yes. What did you have in there, Gabriele? Your wallet. So you can confirm to the rest of the audience that you did not have a golden coin in your left pocket when you entered this room. Can you check if there's a golden coin in your left pocket right now? No, you do not, because I'm not a magician, but... But how cool would that be? You guys would lose your minds. All right, guys, you have been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, you have to go now, but if you have any niece, nephews, or children, I also do birthday parties. So thank you so much.